How do we improve air quality? In Lesson 8, we learned about emission inventories. This is a way of working out where polluted air comes from. It is always a good first step in thinking about how to reduce emissions and improve air quality. An inventory shows that emissions are made up of three parts: how many cars or fireplaces or chimneys there are, which we call the number of units, how often or for how long they are being used, which we call the activity, and how polluting each unit is, which we call the emission factor. If we reduce any of these, the number of units, their activity, or their emission factor, then we can reduce emissions overall. One very effective way of improving air quality is to use non-polluting vehicles, machines, and appliances. Electric cars and electric heating have zero emissions. Replacing vehicles and heaters that burn fossil fuels like oil, coal, and wood with electric alternatives is one of the most effective ways of improving air quality. If we can't convert to electricity, there are often ways of making emissions lower. Hybrid cars burn less fuel and create fewer emissions by using batteries to either help or take over from the petrol or diesel engine. An ultra-low emission wood burner burns the wood more completely or burns wood pellets, which reduces emissions of smoke. Also, using dried wood produces much less smoke than wet wood. There are several ways to reduce the amount that polluting vehicles and heaters are used, reducing the emission activity. Working closer to home or living closer to work, where that's possible, reduces the need for long commutes. It also makes it easier to walk or bike. Taking a bus or train instead of using a car also takes one polluting vehicle off the road, and so does working at home. You will find that a home with better insulation also doesn't need to be heated as much or for as long, reducing the amount of wood smoke pollution in the air. If you can't reduce the emissions of pollution into the air, you can instead try to reduce the amount you will breathe in. The amount of traffic pollution which enters a home can be reduced if the home is further away from the road. In some places, a deliberate gap is left at the side of a major road, called a setback, to achieve this. Also, vegetation like trees and hedges can act as a partial barrier, capturing some of the pollution before it reaches homes. Smoke from home heating would have less effect on air quality in the area if the chimney is taller, lifting the smoke away from the ground. If air pollution gets into an indoor space like your home or car, it may be possible to remove some or all of it. The most common way is by increasing ventilation of the space. This could be as simple as opening windows or doors, or you might use a fan to more forcibly blow the pollution out. Another method is to use some sort of filtration device, like this air cleaner. This sucks air into the machine and passes it through a fine filter, which can capture and remove a lot of the pollutants. Unfortunately, ventilation and filtration machines that are effective outdoors have not been invented and might be impossible as the atmosphere is just too big. So, in summary, here are 6 ways in which air quality can be improved. Replace something that causes emissions with a zero-emission alternative, such as electricity or human power, or a low-emission alternative, such as a cleaner fuel. Use your emitting machine less often, maybe by removing the need to use it. Create separation between the thing causing emissions and the people who might be impacted, or place a barrier between them. And use ventilation or filtration to remove pollution from indoor spaces. Although we have talked about vehicles and home heating, these ideas can often be applied to any kind of air quality problem.